What's up, everybody? Big Italy 42 here, talking about some stacks for Week 8 NFL action, FanDuel and DraftKings here, and kind of a shorter slate, as mentioned here, that we've got quite a few teams on bye, so I won't say limited options, but certainly lesser options, and I think there's going to be quite a bit of overlap with some stacks here, but that doesn't mean you need to be shying away from them in your tournaments. I think the stacks are fine. You can always differentiate elsewhere. We're going to start off here talking about the Atlanta Falcons, team that seems like we talk about every single week. And with Tevin Coleman now officially out for this one, we know exactly where most of the production is going to come, and that's Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Devonta Freeman. This is a great spot against the Packers team that early in the year looked like they were one of the better defenses in the league. Jason and I talked about it a couple weeks. Kind of a team that was just waiting to be exposed by some better offenses, and Cowboys had their way with them. I expect the Falcons put up big number. Vegas does as well. Team total just short of 4 touchdowns at 27.75. Pack 10th against the pass, second against the run. I'm not too worried about that. For me, I'm going with this full stack here. Ryan and Jones are going to be popular plays in all formats. Freeman, not quite as popular, I would imagine, but his price is certainly down due to the fact that he has been sharing some touches with Tevin Coleman. But that won't be the case this week with Coleman out. So this is going to be the chalky stack. It's going to be popular. It's going to be one that, you're really not surprising anybody going with this one. But biggest team total on the board, I think this is definitely a spot where you need to get yourself quite a bit of exposure to this one. And you don't have to get creative here. Play these top 3 guys, mix up the rest of your lineup, and move on. Next up, I'm looking at the opposite side of this one with the Green Bay Packers team total 24.75 points. This one's interesting because obviously Aaron Rodgers going to be part of your stack there at quarterback. Most expensive quarterback across the board for the most part here, definitely on FanDuel. And you got Ty Montgomery, the hybrid back, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him. But interestingly enough, FanDuel calls him a running back and DraftKings still calls him a wide receiver here. So definitely an interesting way you could go there, slotting him in at FanDuel at running back. And then you can get yourself Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, whichever ones you'd like there. If we see any sort of volume like we did last week, then this stack is one that has monster upside. So get creative with this one. Obviously, Cobb's status with his hamstring is going to be kind of key here, but that's a guy who's seen 37 targets over the last 3 weeks. Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 56 times last week. I don't expect quite that volume, but I expect, upper 40s, especially if this one stays high scoring. Niall Davis, not really a guy that I'm interested in putting in here. He doesn't know the offense particularly well, hardly saw the field at all last week. They're saying expanded role for him this week, but I think that's going to be kind of a wait-and-see approach for me. This is still a Packers team that relies heavily on the pass, and for me, I'm stacking up the passing game and hoping this one turns into a shootout, and I certainly expect that it will. Value stack next up. A couple of these guys are not going to be low-owned by any means. Jaquiz Rodgers and Mike Evans, but this is certainly a very good spot for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against a Raiders team that is one of the worst defenses in the entire NFL this season. Looking at their Football Outsiders rankings, got to scroll down near the bottom. 26th against the pass, 27th against the run, 29th overall. This is a tremendous spot. I'm not a Jameis Winston fan, as you know, but I am a Mike Evans fan. I keep saying Mike Evans continues to make bad quarterbacks look good. Johnny Manziel in college, Jameis Winston now. Winston's kind of that guy that you slot in there just because he can get you that extra exposure to Mike Evans, obviously double down on those touchdowns potentially. And there's really no one else in this offense that you're looking to target here, aside from potentially Peyton Barber. Minimum salary on both sites. Obviously, he stole 12 carries, got a touchdown last week, which Jaquiz Rodgers has not done in his 2 weeks, despite over 60 touches in those 2 games. So Peyton Barber, the interesting way, if you want to go really value, throw him in there with Evans and Jameis Winston. And you can definitely stack up some big-time names around those guys because Evans certainly expensive, but neither of these other guys are here. Last up, the contrarian stack, looking at the Cardinals against the Panthers. Once again, for different reasons, not because he's a bad quarterback like Jameis Winston, because I don't think he is, but not a Carson Palmer fan, but this is a tremendous spot for him, although still don't think he's completely healthy. But 7,300 on FanDuel, just 6K on DraftKings. This is a Panthers team that's just been absolutely decimated this year. They've allowed over 40 points twice already, 21, 27, 22, and 17 the other games. This is not the defense that we've seen in recent years. Obviously, losing Josh Norman was huge for that passing defense. And David Johnson should be a popular play once again, as he, has kind of established himself as arguably the best back in the NFL. 41 touches last week. The guy just has an unbelievable floor and ceiling anytime he's on the field. So I like pairing him with Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald, who's 7,000 on FanDuel, 75 on DraftKings. It's a tremendous spot for him. I want no part of Michael Floyd or John Brown. Those guys inconsistent even when they are on the field. So for me, I'm going with the safe options here. David Johnson, who we know has potential to score in the running game, the passing game. The guy can do it all. And you could even see Palmer post a pretty big game here. Kind of even without playing particularly well, because this is just a horrible, horrible Panthers secondary. So those are the stacks that I'm on this week. Thanks for hanging out with me. Check us out at DF Cafe, and be sure to check out our website, dailyfantasycafe.com, for lots of other great tools and content.